Welcome to Dream Tuesday. Together we'll explore the sacred symbols, soul memories, and divine messages that continue to shape Alexis's journey in the Beyond the Veil series. I'm Mary Walker, and today I'm sharing a vision that unfolded not in sleep, but in the quiet rhythm of the morning walk. A moment when heaven whispered through ordinary steps and turned reflection into revelation. Join me as we cross the veil into a vision of resilience, a child learning to walk, a soul remembering its mission, and the sacred echoes of sacrifice that come before resurrection. This is a story of falling, rising, and understanding that the fire we fear may be the very light we carry. Let's journey into today's vision. I remember the fall. Last night, in that strange space between dream and waking, I saw a child, a little one. They were trying to walk, wobbling, unsure, but determined. They lift themselves up, take one step, and fall hard. I could feel the sting in their palms, the ache in their knees, the tremble in their tiny chests as they looked around for a reason to try again. And they did. Not because anyone told them to, but because something deep inside them whispered, "You were born for this." That dream stayed with me. It followed me into the stillness of my morning walk. I was fussing, like usual, whispering that love, hate, truth into the air. How I hate this part of the journey, but how I also love what it is making of me. It's like walking through fire and still somehow being grateful for the heat. Doesn't make sense, right? But it does. Somewhere between steps, it hit me. I am the sacrificial lamb, not in a dramatic pitfall way, but in the way that says, you chose this, you agreed to this. You're holding space, not just for yourself, but for those coming behind you. And suddenly, the story of Jesus from yesterday came back to me. Not the rising, but the crucifixion. Everyone always talks about the third day, the moment of triumph. But what about Friday? What about the dying? That's where I've been lately. And me, being me, I tried to timeline my pain. I thought, okay, if it started Friday at 9:09 a.m., then I should be good by Sunday morning, right? I can handle a couple days in the trenches if I know the resurrection is coming. But divine timing don't work like mine. It never does. So I asked out loud even, how long do I have to be in this space? And as always, that voice answered, soft, familiar, you got this. I rolled my eyes. Easy for you to say, you're not in this body. You're not feeling these bruises. But then the voice responded, gently but firm. Everyone has to play their part. So I paused, backtracked to the beginning of the walk. Thought about the good and the bad, about how much I've grown, the pain, the grief, the loneliness. It all felt like punishment at first, but now I see it's been sacred pressure, forging me, strengthening me. I'm not who I was a year ago, not even close. I'm stronger now, spiritually, physically, mentally. Even in the brokenness, something new has risen in me. Still, I asked, why the pain? Why does it have to hurt so much to rise? And then that dream flashed again. That child, the fall, the rising. They didn't need applause. They didn't need proof. They just knew deep in their bones that walking was worth the fall. And maybe so is this. So I keep walking through the ache, through the questions, through the divine silence, because I've fallen before and I remember the rise was always greater than the fall. What Alexis experienced on that morning walk wasn't just a metaphor. It was a divine revelation wrapped in the simplicity of a child's determination. The image of falling and rising was a mirror showing her and all of us that our struggles aren't signs of failure, but intentions into deeper strength. The fall wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. And still, the soul said, try again. The timing of 909 aligned with the memory of the crucifixion before resurrection became more than just numbers. It became a sacred invitation to surrender, not to weakness, but to transformation. It reminded Alexis that the rising is always greater than the fall, and that divine timing doesn't move according to our clocks. It flows with our readiness. We each carry a piece of that same inner child, the one who dares to stand after every stumble. And we each carry a light that won't go out, no matter how dark the night becomes. As you walk your own path, may you remember that falling is part of the rising, that pain can be a portal, and that every sacred yes you whisper into the void is heard, echoing across time, space, and soul. Thank you for joining me on this sacred journey beyond the veil. If today's vision stirred something in you, a memory, a wound, or a quiet knowing, trust that it's not by accident. These messages find us when we're ready to remember who we are and why we came. Until next time, keep walking even when it hurts, especially then. You were made to rise.